This was our third and final day in Iceland, and we were determined to pack in more fun and adventure till the last. So what's the plan, guys?
Well, good morning.
Morning.
It's third day here, isn't it? Crikey,
Yeah.
It's our final day here in Iceland. We've got another big day planned. It's another early start, isn't it?
It is.
Another rushed breakfast and out ready for our collection here. We're going to the South Shore, going to see some waterfalls and hopefully go and explore an ice cave today.
Should be exciting.
Should be fun. Take care.
We were collected for our trip from right outside the hotel, and after a bus swap in a lay-by, we found ourselves speeding southwards towards Iceland's famous South Shore.
This was a 2-hour journey through Iceland's stunning scenery, with a short toilet stop halfway.
This day was also the day of a partial solar eclipse, which would be visible from Iceland, and we were checking the times of the eclipse, hoping that we would be parked up somewhere with a clear sky when it happened.
Roman, our driver, pointed out sights as we headed for our first waterfall, Skogafoss. And as we parked up, the eclipse was just starting to happen, and we had 45 minutes to explore this incredible waterfall and enjoy the eclipse whilst there. So here we are. Our first stop is Skogafoss, and look how beautiful is that?
Isn't it stunning?
Yay! We're going to go and see if we're going to get wet. Apparently the driver said we're going to get drenched, so
We've got
let's
about
see.
45 minutes here. You can walk up to the bottom of it, and apparently at the side you can go up to a viewpoint at the top. So hopefully we'll have enough time.
Yeah, can you see that? There's the viewpoint
Hopefully we'll have
there.
enough time to do both. But it's been an interesting drive down, hasn't it?
It has, yes.
And past the big volcano that erupted in 2010. That was fascinating, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was very, you could see that it snowed last night, so it was very white to start off with, and then it started to get green, didn't it?
As for the eclipse, well, it's up there somewhere. It's a bit cloudy, so it's difficult to see. There was a little bit earlier on we could see it, but I don't think we're going to get a good view of it from here, unfortunately.
No.
Oh well, okay, let's have a last look at the waterfall, and then we'll go and have a wander up there.
And this waterfall is stunning, and the scale of it really becomes apparent as you approach.
It rightly attracts plenty of visitors, and people jostle for position at its base for the perfect shot. Drones are understandably prohibited, so how are you planning to get the close-up, Si?
And you can get pretty close. There's people climbing round there. Looks like it could be wet foot territory though. I might go and have a quick peek just to take a recce. Okay, I've managed to get around that rock. I'm getting up really close now. Check this out. Okay. Look how close we are here. How stunning. Oh, goodness gracious me. Look at this place. I'm getting really wet now. Oh, I'm not sure I want to go too much further. But look at this. I think this is as close as I'm going to get without getting absolutely sopping. What an experience.
So soggy but pleased with myself, I made my way back around the rock towards Nettie.
Right, here he is. He's back from being very close to the waterfall, and he's looking rather on the wet side.
Bracing.
How was it?
Bracing, and cold and wet, but really good. Got quite close.
Are you glad that you're that wet now?
No, not really. Hindsight's a wonderful thing.
I think I'm the clever one. I didn't go.
Absolutely.
So what's going on with the eclipse, Si?
There is the solar eclipse. Just about. Wow.
So we had time, we thought, to climb up the steps to the viewpoint above the falls.
Walking off the breakfast that we had this morning, if nothing else.
And as we climbed, the view of the partial eclipse through our phones became clearer.
This was a steep, arduous climb, but you are rewarded with gorgeous views each time you stop to catch your breath. And eventually, we arrived at the top.
Well, made it. That's a hell of a climb. There's a viewpoint here. Looks like another one up there. Haven't got a lot of time. Quickly do both. Back to the van.
The views are worth it, just stunning, and we took advantage of the small amount of time we had to grab those all-important selfies and explore the top of the falls.
We had noticed the weather closing in and the skies were darkening rapidly, and it wasn't just the eclipse causing this, and a storm was approaching.
Time to head back down all those stairs. Look at them go all the way down there. Time to get back to the van. Off you go.
It's easier going down. So we headed back and got back into the minibus, and we set off towards Vik. and directly into the approaching storm.
Driving conditions became rather treacherous and the snowfall became heavy very quickly, and we were glad to arrive in Vik 50 minutes later.
And the visitor centre in Vik provided welcome refuge from the weather.
Okay, that was some drive from Skogafoss, and the weather really turned and it blew a blizzard, and as we just come over the top towards Vik, I mean, the roads were very difficult and the traffic was really struggling to get through some of the snowy roads and stuff. A snowplow come through, but it just backfilled as soon as it went through. Anyway, we're here in Vik. I don't know whether we're going to get up to the ice cave or not. It looks pretty treacherous out there, but we'll wait and see.
Some refreshments needed and we hit the cafe. Just got myself a hot chocolate, look at this. Wow, that's a hot chocolate and a half.
We were told that our trip to the ice cave was going ahead, and we boarded a different specially built Super Jeep bus and met our new guide Tate.
Tate explained that this Super Jeep bus would take us off the roads and up onto the glacier. The roads soon disappeared and the snow got heavier, and then the headbagging started. How Tate could see where he was going was a complete mystery, as the snow was so heavy it was a total whiteout.
This was just another snowy day for Tate, and after an hour's journey into the blizzard, we parked up and adorned our safety gear.
And it was still blowing a blizzard, and there was an eerie stillness out on the glacier, and Tate led us out into the blizzard towards the ice cave.
We've just had an incredible 1 hour drive up onto the glacier. I mean, how he saw where he was going, I do not know. It was a complete whiteout. And now we're going to walk up to the ice cave.
Ice caves form each year in the glacier and are forever changing. Being formed when meltwater from the glacier freezes, the Katla Ice Caves are renowned for the frozen ice containing volcanic ash, as this glacier sits on top of an active volcano.
Walk from the Super Jeep bus to the ice caves wasn't a great distance and was fun in the deep snow. Visibility was still poor and we could just make out the Super Jeep bus in the distance in the blizzard.
We needed cleats and a helmet to safely enter the ice cave, and Tate gave us a safety briefing before we filed in line to the mouth of the cave.
It was a climb up and the snow was deep.
Some things just have to be done. Oh, missed.
Then into the spectacular cave, and this was yet another wow moment, and you can see the layers of volcanic ash in the ice frozen as the meltwater flowed through this place as the winter freeze happened last year. It's quite a sight.
The cave itself was about 30 to 35 metres deep, so not vast, and it didn't take long to explore, but this was a space that wouldn't exist in a few months during the warmer months, so we took our time to wonder what it is, and take plenty of pictures of course.
Tate took pictures of everybody as they left the cave, and back outside the group took the opportunity to enjoy some fun in the snow, and the snowballs started flying, and the snow angels also began to appear.
Trying to bring some order back to the proceedings, Tate then gave us a short lecture on the glacier and how it behaves each year. Fascinating. You enjoying your day, guys?
Well, we're making our way back to the bus now. That's been quite an experience. Watch where we're going, the snow's quite deep and uneven. What an excellent way to spend a day.
We trudged back to the Super Jeep bus and offloaded our PPE, and as we drove off the glacier, Tate cranked up the stereo again and the headbanging started again.
This 1 hour journey back to Vik seemed to fly by, and Tate took a detour onto a deserted stretch of one of Iceland's famous black sand beaches.
Tate explained about the dangers on this shore before allowing us out of the Super Jeep to experience the cold icy winds and sea spray on our faces, and it was rather bracing.
Our guide has just taken a detour and taken us down to one of the black sand beaches. It's still blowing a blizzard down here. It's chucking freezing.
The storm at the coast hadn't really subsided, and we knew not to stray too close to the water's edge in case one of the notorious sneaker waves came ashore that have been responsible for so many deaths on these shores.
This was though some spot, and a great way to end our trip with Tate, and we got back aboard and headed back to Vik.
We ate our snacks that we had bought in bonus on the minibus, and after 30 minutes Roman was whisking us through snowy roads to our next destination, which was the beautiful Seljalandsfoss Waterfall. And during this 50-minute drive from Vik, the snows and storms had begun to subside.
Well, we're in our final stop for the day. We're at the last waterfall, and it's Seljalandsfoss, which is very spectacular. Apparently you can walk behind it, although you're going to get wet.
Very wet.
And it looks absolutely stunning.
Yeah, we might try it. It's last stop, isn't it?
Oh, so we got
Might wake us up a little bit, you never know.
an hour and a half in the van to dry out on the way back anyway. All right, we'll see how we get on.
We follow the short path to these beautiful falls. Selfies done, then decision on whether to explore behind the waterfall. And the pathway follows a route over rocks and onto the ledge in the cliffs behind the waterfall.
And as we approached, we again were showered in spray, but this was some place, and those visitors brave enough to get us soaking were clearly enjoying the thrill of this place. And Nettie was so excited she did a little dance.
Well, we've made it behind the waterfall and it's absolutely spectacular. It's a little soggy.
This was truly stunning and we soaked it all up, quite literally.
Then time to leave sadly, and we completed the circuit and returned to the main footpath.
Well, that was an experience, wasn't it? How wet are we? Really good, really spectacular. I'm just going to need to dry out now. Enjoy it?
Yeah, it was fun.
All right, back on the bus.
There are other waterfalls to see here, but we had run out of both time and dry clothing.
Back on the minibus, we made some futile attempts to dry out as we headed the 90 minutes back to Reykjavik, and back in Reykjavik, the sun was out.
We headed back to our hotel and showered and changed into dry clothes.
It was past 8 o'clock in the evening and we needed a meal, but we also wanted a final beer. So where did you end up, Nettie?
It's a final night and we're shattered, it's late, so we're coming to Lemmy's for a final beer and a meal. So I'm looking forward to that. Our final meal in our favourite bar, washed down with a tasty Icelandic beer. And after, we took a walk back to the hotel, past the Sun Voyager again.
So that's it. That's our few days in Reykjavik done. Do you think Reykjavik is possibly the craziest, maddest weekend break we've done?
Oh yes, it surely is. It's absolutely been crazy, but I wouldn't change it for the world. You know, the Icelandic people are absolutely, they're bonkers, but they're great, aren't they?
It's mad. Absolutely mad. But we've loved it. I have anyway, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. We've loved it. We'd definitely do it again, wouldn't we?
Oh, you're just amazing. Reykjavik is the best. Brilliant. Right, tomorrow morning, stupid o'clock, we're back in the UK. If you've got this far, thanks for joining us.
Bye! What a weekend break this had been. Totally 100% amazingly crazy and fun.
And before we made this trip, we had wondered whether this would be our last visit to Iceland. But when you've had this much fun, how can anybody ever think that? And as we travelled back to the UK, we planned what our next crazy adventure here would look like. Thanks for watching.
Please like and subscribe.